He said, "You are throwing it all away. It is the worst mistake you will ever make." And I wish I had someone who could just pull me aside and, "Hey, it'll be okay. It'll be okay." I wish I knew that.
An all-white audience, and at that time in the late 60s, where racial tension and divide was still very strong and the wounds were still there, but he was able to change behavior, the audience's behavior. So this all-white audience who would never cheer a black man cheered him in these arenas. He would get up at usually 5:30 in the morning, and he would say, "If I get up, you're gonna get up too." Yes. And I wouldn't work out, but he would just make sure that I was there and be with him, and that was our time that we could spend together. My dad always said too that regardless of what you do in life and where you go, respect is going to be given when it's earned, and you have to go out and earn it every single day.
The thing that has worked for me is to remember the hard times. I was evicted when I was 14. We were kicked off the island. We couldn't live in Hawaii. Had no place to live.
My mom and I came home, and I'll never forget, the rent was $180 a week. And there was an eviction a week. And there was an eviction notice on the door. And this was the final eviction notice. My mom started crying, and I never forgot in that moment. It was a seminal moment for me because I felt like I never want to be in this position again. What can I do? So at 14 years old, I thought, well, the heroes in my life, Muhammad Ali, for example, professional wrestlers, they're all men who have worked hard with their hands and they built their body. Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do what my dad taught me and these other heroes. I'm gonna go build my body so we're never evicted again.
And at that time, we were at an all-time low, I think, with our family. And I am already a pretty big boy, 6'4", 200, maybe 20, 25 pounds. I had a very bad mustache. I had a chip on my shoulder. Fresh into this high school in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Freedom High School. A teacher comes in. His name is Jody Swick. Tough guy. He shook my hand. I'll never forget that shake. He said, "I want you to do something for me." "Yes?" "Why don't you come out and play football for me?" I said, "Okay." And I went out and I played football for Jody Swick. And he was our head football coach. And he became a father figure to me and a mentor. I fell in love with the game of football, and I started getting recruited from every college across the country. My thought process started to change. That's when I started thinking about goals and what I wanted to accomplish. And I wish I had someone at that time who could just pull me aside and, "Hey, it's gonna be okay." After about a month and a half of staying in that little apartment and cleaning, I got a phone call from the head coach of the team who cut me, the head coach of the Calgary Stampeders. He called me and he said, "Hey, I know we cut you, but I'd like you to come back." I said, "Okay, I appreciate that, coach. Thank you very much. I'll think about it." He said, "Okay, great." I hung up the phone, and my dad said, "You're gonna do it, right?" I said, "No, I don't think so." And he goes, "What?" I said, "My gut tells me I'm done." He said, "What are you gonna do?" I took a deep breath. I said, "I'd like to get into the business." He said, "What business?" I said, "The wrestling business." He said, "You are throwing it all away. It is the worst mistake you will ever make." He said, "You're ruining your career."
At that time, we were living in a small apartment in Tampa, Florida, and he said, "Look around. This is what I have. I don't have anything. And I don't want that for you."
I said, "Maybe I'll be no good. But I feel like in my heart I have to do this."
He passed away on January 15th, and we just buried him a few days ago. And I didn't get a chance to say the things that I wanted to say, or I wish he would have said the things to me, the important, critical things that anchor us that I didn't get from him. But then the birth of a child and what that does, and the lens perspective that just shifts, it's the greatest thing that I have ever experienced in my life. My daughters taught me how to be more caring and more sensitive and more selfless.
Yeah.
My dad loved me with the small capacity in which he was capable of.